Okay, Richard, could you briefly state your business and what you do for a living?
I am a makeup artist. I'm based in Los Angeles. I'm a union makeup artist, and basically I do anything from beauty application to prosthetic application, also sculpting. Don't work so much in shops anymore, but if I have a project that requires prosthetics, I basically sculpt them out, and then I have a shop, usually it's a Van Dyke shop, mold and cast the pieces, and then the pieces are delivered to us, and we put them on, and like that.
And you were saying earlier you also do cosmetic makeup, so it's not all just special effects for you, is it?
Kind of the difference in America, a lot of times, like positions that I go for are key makeup artist or second, so you have a department head and they have their second. It just behooves me to do beauty makeup because you can definitely work longer and on a show. So if a department head has a show and she says or he says that do you do beauty makeup, instead of just coming in maybe once or twice or maybe a dozen times on a show to do prosthetic application, I'm someone that they can use the entire run of the show because I can handle beauty makeups as well as grooming for men, corrective makeups on men, the prosthetic injury stuff, whatever you need.
Sort of across the board, really.
Yeah. Also hair work, mustaches, beards,
Yeah.
all that. So.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have an arts background before you got into this? Any arts education, and if so, what did you study and where did you study it?
I've never had any formal artistic training. I never went to an art school or drawing or painting classes. I've always loved it, and I've always kind of had a natural bend towards doing it. I always have been drawing since I was a kid. But oddly, I actually I became a dancer. I was a professional ballet dancer before I did makeup.
Wow.
And that's where I was actually introduced to makeup, from doing my own makeup for theater, for ballets that we did. Particularly, if you're doing kind of regular ballet that doesn't have costumes and wardrobe, it's just basically a repertoire piece. You would do a corrective makeup, kind of theatrical with the little lines under your eyes and kind of chisel the brow and do your contours.
Sure, yeah.
Because you're basically painting for the expensive rows, which is about 30 feet away.
Yeah.
And you're making yourself look great for that group, and then but then you would have the full-length ballets like Swan Lakes and Nutcrackers and Don Quixotes and Female Gardets, which have a lot of character makeups in them. And sometimes, and traditionally in ballet and theater, men would play a lot of different women roles. So they'd have we'd have big noses, and that's where I kind of got my first start. I had Richard Corson's theatrical makeup book, and they showed how to do simple molds and stuff like that. So kind of my first dabblings in prosthetics is. We were doing Nutcracker, and I was going to play a character called Mother Ginger. Mother Ginger has all these little kids under her dress, and she, it's like the old lady in the shoe or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it is that. But long story short, I basically took a tape measure and I measured my nose, and then I kind of transferred that length to a plate, and then I kind of sculpted this big nose on the plate with nostrils and stuff, and then I put a little cup around it, with the top cut off, a little cylinder, and then filled it with plaster of Paris, let it set up, took all the clay out, and then just poured latex in it. And the edges were super thick, but it didn't matter, And that was my first prosthetic that I ever made.
So you kind of self-taught, Richard? Or?
Yeah, I did go to a makeup school. So after I finished ballet, I went to a makeup school called EI. It used to be called Elegance International, and but that gave me I really like the way that I learned ballet, because in ballet you go to school, you train, you go through the levels of the school, then you enter a company, then you go through the levels of the company. You know, I like the outline of a school format. So it helped me just become aware of products, techniques, and from there I had a good background for makeup, and that was a good starting point to then go out and just expand on that.
Sure.
My first jobs were doing beauty makeups at makeup counters for like Lancome and Smashbox, and you know,
it's quite a long journey that you've been on then, isn't it,
good,
from
so.
start to finish? Which leads me to the next thing, actually. The education you did get at Elegance, do you think it prepared you for your creative industry and pathway? And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it basically gave me the basic knowledge about how to do things. Like, you know, if you're doing a beauty makeup, what do you do first? What do you do second? You know, it just the steps. So
yeah,
the techniques have changed through.
I suppose the structure of it and the.
You know, but you know, I think that there's any good artist is going to have a huge amount of autonomy.
Yeah.
They have to work out the kinks on their own. And I was always like, I never wanted to be in a situation where a producer or director was going to come to me, or I was going to get an offer and I wasn't prepared. So if I have an offer to do an age makeup or something, I've done 10 on my own.
Yeah.
Outside of actually doing them for actual work. So if you have that, if you do your homework and you keep investing in your craft, and
yeah,
I don't know, the autonomy comes easily, because it's kind of like, for me, I'm like, oh man, I see this makeup that, you know, someone's done, it's beautiful. I'm like, I want to do something like that. So you get inspired. So it's kind of like then you get into that thing like, okay, I want to do my thing. I want to do my spin on it. I mean, I did.
So you take a bit of one character, maybe a bit of another, and you
I've always loved
make
Dick
your own
Smith's stuff, and you know, I mean, obviously we all, you know, the little big man makeup is iconic and stuff, and I wanted to do, and even with Kevin Yeager, he has this one makeup where it was like kind of this homeless guy with like the beard stubble, and like I just like that image is just etched into my brain, and I was like, I kind of want to do something like that where it's a little over the top.
Yeah.
So I did, and I just, you know, I did it at Los Angeles IMATS 2017, and it was great. I had a great model, and you know, he was really old and craggy, and we got a wheelchair for him and a cane, and I pushed him around the convention. You know,
wow,
nobody
awesome.
looked at him. Everybody bought it. They all thought he was an old man.
Yeah.
He's like taking the cane and like, get out of the way, no. You know, and but you know, I got some big white shoes. You know, it's very American kind of old man. He had the suspenders and stuff. So I mean, I think another thing I saw, because I watched an interview with Jerry Lewis, and he had a hearing aid.
Sure, yeah.
It's like, that'll sell.
That'll work. Yeah.
So I got him a hearing aid in one ear. So I think it's all those little details that really like make a character. But yes, to answer your question, high school definitely prepared me for what I was going to embark on. But I also think it's also, ballet prepared me work ethic wise, you know.
Sure, yeah. Discipline,
if you don't do
I suppose.
You're going to go on stage,
yeah,
and you're not going to look good. So you got to do your homework.
Yeah.
You have to present your best foot forward. And I mean, that ties into like what, you know, if Michael P asked me to do a demo or something, I want to do something that like has some bearing on the venue or the audience. Like when I did New York IMATS, I did a Mark Twain makeup, because Dick Smith was from New York, and that was iconic.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? It has a connection. You know, some people thought he was Colonel Sanders, but I'm like, no, he doesn't sell chicken. Wrong guy. White hair, different suit. You know?
Yeah.
I got it. You know, I got one Einstein as well. But I was half thinking about putting Mark Twain on his back, just so everybody got it right. But you know, so I think that you know, attitude and autonomy towards your craft, those are things that those are no secret those are the secrets, I think, to success. But that's for anything you do.
I agree.
You work hard,
self-discipline, practice, and passion
and I think
somehow.
you can be a great technician, but you have to have the right bedside manner, as we say. You have to know how to read people. It's part your people. You're connecting with people. So you have an actor that's in the chair, and they might not be feeling it that day. How do you get them to feel it? You got to glue all this stuff on their face.
Yeah.
How is it getting coffee, helping them out, making sure that they have what they need. So it's part of that too.
Yeah. Moving on to the next question then, Richard. So it's kind of connects to some of the stuff you've already said here. But the question was, what was your route into this industry, and how did you get to where you are now?
Well, yeah, I mean, basically was always interested in the visual arts, but then kind of switched gears and went into a ballet career and did makeups. I was dancing for probably 20 years. I mean, I started when I was like 9.
Wow. Okay.
Finished in my mid-20s. Because I was kind of satisfied with what I had done dance-wise, and then went into makeup school. So yeah, I kind of likened it like this. I kind of put my visual arts on hold. I knew there was a love there, but I didn't have the venue for what I could do with it. Fortunately, dance happened, and I basically started doing my own makeup, and that introduced me to the craft, and that was like, oh, well, this is a great way to, because I didn't see myself as a fine art, like a painter or something like.
No, sure.
But yeah, so it was kind of a roundabout way, but dance introduced me to makeup, and makeup kind of tied into having a good career as an artist.
How did you end up doing this in the film industry then? Because that's quite a leap as well from the.
Well, after being a ballet dancer, I knew there wasn't a lot of money in theater, and
sure,
I didn't make a lot of money as a dancer, and I knew that there wasn't a lot of money to be made in theater. I mean, you could, like if you're doing like a musicals or something like that, it's pretty good, but I think the pay is infinitely better in film and television. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm chasing the money, but I do want to have a living, make a living,
of course,
and make, get some stuff, and I wanted to have a wife. At that time, I was single and have a child, and and you
decent
have to provide,
quality of life. Yeah.
So I wanted to get into an industry that I could do what I loved, but get paid for it. So.
What would be your advice to young artists graduating from colleges that hope to make a living from their art practice?
It's kind of like what I said. I mean, I think keys to success in anything you do is just really have a good attitude. Don't expect. Just give. Put out a good product, and if you're giving and you're giving honestly towards your craft, it's all going to take care of itself. I mean, I just think you don't know where the next job's going to come from. It could be something as insignificant as just helping someone out, and I've had it happen. I've done one makeup with a makeup artist one day to help her on reshoots, and it's just like, oh, do you want to help me glue a burn scar on the back of Joel Edgerton for a film we did called The Gift? And I was like, yeah, sure. Didn't think anything of it, She's like, well, did the application, it was great. We hadn't seen each other since Pirates 2 and 3, and she basically offered me a job on Twin Peaks. And today is, the new Twin Peaks airing today, first episode.
It's
and
awesome,
so that's, you never know how it's going to come. So I guess my point is, the secret is work hard. I always tell people, get to work early. Don't ever be late. No one wants anybody late. Work hard. stay late and offer to help to clean up, and ask your boss, whoever it is, or your coworkers, do you need a hand with anything? Just, give all of that, and then do your own homework. I continually do my own makeups, and I'm working on shows, and so I think those things are really going to be the key to success. You know how to work on a team, be open to correction. Hey, just because you didn't, it's maybe not be 100% right, but it's mostly there. I mean, don't take it as criticism. Take it as we're just trying to make it look as good as it can.
Yeah.
I can, I do makeups, and my boss would say, hey, let's do a little more of this. Sure.
Yeah.
I
think you always have to be.
Don't be precious, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Particularly when they're the boss. Because if you're not precious and you just like, my job as a key makeup artist is to make my boss shine. And if she shines or he shines, they're going to get hired again, which means she knows that that boss, I have their back, and they'll hire you again.
Yeah.
And you create a real friendship too.
Yeah.
Because there's caring there. So.
Great. Okay. What would you say the best thing about your job is? I think it's just the creativity of being able to work on stuff and work with cool people and growing and learning. I worked recently last year with the makeup designers Luva and Ava from Sweden, and they're they're awesome artists that I learned a tremendous amount from on the show that we did, but they're great people too. I think the best part about it is you get to do something creative, and you get to work with cool people, and you get paid for it. It's pretty cool. You're not stuck in a cubicle all the time. I can wear. The best part is I can wear surf shorts to work. Well, in LA. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that here.
My skateboard shoes, right? So.
And what would you say was the worst thing about your job, Richard?
There are shows that are night shoots. Night shoots are tough. You start your day, and particularly if it's a long show and it's a long, a week of nights is fine, but man, you get in 2 months of that, I think the sleep deprivation and the fact that you're trying to do your job when you should be sleeping, it's just, that's tough. I think extended night shows are hard. That's a tough one. Because you don't get really good sleep during the. I don't personally. I don't. If the sun's up, I'm kind of awake, so I'm getting kind of like mediocre sleep. So.
It's the same that everyone says, actually. It's those incredibly long hours with shifts that aren't, it's not really a shift. You work 16 hours flat to get something done.
Yeah,
and then you're there the next morning at 8 o'clock again.
16, 17 hours a day, and then you're on nights, and you're doing that for a couple months.
Takes its toll.
It takes its toll.
Everyone gets tired and emotional.
I think, because I did that recently on a show, and lesson learned, you definitely need a month of recovery.
Yeah.
You need just not to do anything, because your brain is just so
fried.
Yeah, really is.
Do you have any other tips or tricks for budding artists, Richard? What would you say would be the key thing to say?
I think one thing, because I was talking with someone recently, I think believe in what you're doing, and also say be confident in what you're doing, but don't be precious about it. Have a few people that you trust to say, what do you think about this? You like it? I'll sculpt something out, and I'll ask Vincent or my friend Bruce Fuller, hey, what do you think of this? You think it look cool?
Yeah.
And I know they got my back. They're going to tell me an honest answer without corrective criticism. I want that. But they do it. They're not. they're cool about it, you know. And but I would say believe in what believe in what you do. I mean, the levels of an artist are you learn technique, you become more proficient in technique, skill, and then you start copying other people's, inspired by other people's makeup. But then start creating your own stuff. I mean, I like to make stuff, but I like to look at that, and just kind of make a hybrid of it, you know. Be aware of your environment. I did a cyborg makeup on Batman versus Superman. Wasn't seen so much in the film, but in the special features. I mean, they show a quick little blast of it, but in the special features, you see the makeup. And in the sculpture, there was a guy on our crew that was missing an ear, and he had a very evident scar on the side of his face. I'm not sure what. Great guy, but I used that scar that he had and basically copied it in my sculpture for this burn scar makeup for Cyborg. And my thought is that, well, everybody's used to it.
Yeah.
So they're going to look at that shape when it's on Cyborg and buy it because they see it every day on a real person. They just they don't know why they like that. So when I presented it to Zack Snyder, he's like, yeah, that looks great. Mold that.
Authentic, sort of.
So I think use what's around, and that's just being aware of like your environment. You know, because if it's something real, people already believe it. So if you put it in your sculpture, you put it in a makeup, they're going to buy that. So.
Okay, well look, thank you ever so much for talking to us, Richard.
Thanks, buddy.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Thank you.